Shadows of poverty. David was a young man who lived in a small village. His family had no money, and most days they ate only bread and water. His clothes were old, and his shoes had many holes. People in the market often looked at him with pity. He often sat near the river and thought about his future. His heart felt heavy because dreams always seemed too far. Still, he kept hope inside him even when life looked dark. When David was 12, his father became very sick. The family tried to find medicine, but they could not pay for it. His mother worked long hours in the fields, but her hands bled from the hard work. David and his sister begged for food at doors, but many people closed them quickly. Some kind neighbors sometimes gave them soup. But most days, hunger stayed in their stomachs. Every night, David lay awake and wished for a miracle. One cold winter, snow covered the village. The roof of David's house broke, and the wind entered the rooms. His little sister cried, and his mother held her close. David walked to town and asked strangers for work. Many said no, and some even laughed at him. Finally, an old man gave him a small job carrying wood. David earned a few coins, but they were not enough for food. His heart sank, but he refused to give up. Days turned into weeks, and suffering grew heavier. One evening, David found a piece of bread on the street. He took it and ran home to share it with his family. His mother smiled weakly and said he was her only light. That night, David sat outside and looked at the stars. He remembered stories of people who left their homes to find better lives. His eyes filled with tears but also with courage. A new dream started in his heart. When spring came, David decided to leave the village. He walked for days with only a bag of bread. He slept on the ground and drank water from rivers. Many people ignored him, but one kind woman gave him a blanket. He said thank you and promised himself he would never forget kindness. After weeks, he arrived in the city. Tall buildings rose above him, and busy streets surrounded him. Hope and fear mixed in his chest. In the city, David searched for work. He asked in shops, he knocked on doors, but no one trusted a poor boy. He slept under bridges and shared food with other homeless people. Sometimes the police chased them away, and sometimes strangers threw insults. One night, a group of men stole his blanket. David cried in silence, but he still stood up the next day. He believed life had something better waiting. His faith kept him strong. One afternoon, a kind teacher saw him reading an old newspaper. She asked about his story and he told her everything. The teacher took him to a small school and helped him learn. David studied hard every day and read every book he could find. His hands often shook from hunger, but his mind grew stronger. Soon he won the respect of his teachers. They believed in him when no one else did. For the first time he felt hope was real. Years later, David became a teacher himself. He taught poor children who lived the same pain he once knew. He built a small school in his old village, and children came with smiles. His mother and sister watched with pride as he spoke with joy. People who once ignored him now respected him. Poverty had followed him, but it never broke him. His story showed that suffering could turn into strength. At last, David lived the life he once only dreamed of.